So once again, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this webinar led by Bolivia Flying Labs. My name is Claudina Kaya-Brochna, and I'll be facilitating today's webinar. And just to start with, I will give you an overview of We Robotics and Flying Labs, seeing that we may have some people in the audience who are not familiar, who may not be familiar with our work. So let me just run you through just a few short slides and then we will jump to the presentation. So first of all, hope you can see, yes, you can see my screen. We Robotics is a nonprofit organization or a social impact organization that brings together local actors, local experts, local communities, and different stakeholders to create and offer some alternatives, practical alternatives to systems dominated by foreign-led and top-down interventions. We always say that we are not about the robots. We are all about who gets to use the technology and the robots and for what purpose. So our work is about shifting the power and redefining really what it means to be a local expert. To accomplish that, we co-create and facilitate a network, a global network called the Flying Labs Network that Bolivia Flying Labs is also part of. And this network connects the experts from all over the world who specialize in, especially in drones, drone data, and robotics, including AI. In Africa, Latin America, and Asia Pacific. We support the Flying Labs network through co-creation and facilitation, as I mentioned in the previous slide, but also technical capacity strengthening, sustainability capacity strengthening, opportunities and value transfer, knowledge exchange, technology transfer, shared governance and monitoring and evaluation, as well as improving the network model and documenting it. And now just a few more slides on the Flying Labs in general, on the entire network. Flying Labs, as I mentioned before, are a global network of independent knowledge hubs, and they convene local experts in professional drone, data, robotics, and AI services. Flying Labs also strengthen the local expertise in the use of drones, robotics, data, and AI for positive social change. And they do that by working with the local communities and local stakeholders. Flying Labs also collaborate with the community partners in many different sectors. All of their projects are linked to social good. And every Flying Lab strengthens the local level capacity and tech expertise. They implement sustainable solutions within their communities. They contribute to local ecosystems and share learnings across the network to catalyze this positive impact that they create. And there is a little video, but I'm going to skip it just to give more time and more space for our main speakers, René and Erika. But just as a last word, the Flying Labs are self-financed as we work on, as I mentioned, on sustainability. We put a lot of effort into making sure that the Flying Labs can be sustainable and are sustainable. So in that sense, they are hosted by already existing local organizations that already offer professional services and education already before they joined the network. The Flying Labs remain financially independent in that sense by offering their own services, own training, professional services to the local stakeholders. And as part of our work at We Robotics in supporting the Flying Labs, we created and launched a program, internal program called Turning Data into Action. This program's goals was to tackle the problem of the data often not being used by the decision makers or all those stakeholders who have the power to take action and to act on the very high level drone data, and to see how we can facilitate that. How can we make sure that the data doesn't just stay unused, rub the dust somewhere on the shelf, but actually facilitate or allows the action and the impact to be created in the local communities. And I'm talking about the Turning Data into Action program because part of this program are also what we call our microgrants, organized by We Robotics and given to the Flying Labs. And Bolivia Flying Labs actually participated in one of the microgrant rounds for TDIA, or Turning Data into Action program. And that's what they're going to tell you about today, because they worked on a Firehawk project, which is going to be presented by two of our amazing speakers today. We have Erica Lopez and Rene Salomon from Bolivia Flying Labs, who made this amazing project possible. So without further ado, I think I'm going to turn the microphone to you guys. And also, please feel free to share any questions, any comments or reactions in the chat, and we will have a little extra time at the end after the presentations to address your questions. So over to you, Rene and Erica.
Thank you very much, Kaya. Nice talking to all of you in this webinar. First of all, I want to say hi to everybody. And at the same time, remember that always it's a pleasure to be around and have this kind of interchange. The Firehawk project is an initiative that came out after we came back from Kenya, and we were so involved with Erica and the rest of the group trying to see what we can do based on problems. And one of the problems that Bolivia has is the forest fires. Every time we come to August in Bolivia, especially in the lowlands, we suffer this kind of disasters. More than 3 million hectares out of 107 million hectares that has the country. Is really important to see what we can do about it. That's why we put together this project to prevent forest fires using technology, in this case, drones. I think we are kind of the pioneers doing this in Bolivia, especially trying to prevent these kind of problems. That's why we won't put too much emphasis in what's the problem, but we will try to hear this video where a local person is telling us what's the software about it. Please, Kaya, can you put the video?
Yes, let me just quickly reshare because I believe I didn't share with the sound. Okay, we should be able to see it now. Is it this video?
The video's there.
Great.
Esa calentura, ese dolor de los ojos, hasta se nos seca las gargantas, no podíamos casi ni tragar, y nos hemos puesto mal también. Todo lo que teníamos nosotros planificado para este año, todo se quemó. Dale nomás. Tendremos que buscar, al menos nosotros como padres, ¿no? Como madre, dónde sustentarlo a nuestros hijos, de dónde vamos a sacar el dinero para poder mantenerlo a ellos. ¿Qué irá a pasar pues con esas tierras que están quemadas?
As you see, Bolivia has a problem And this problem is related to something that when you close your eyes and you imagine Bolivia, sometimes also promoting tourism in Bolivia, you see highlands, a lot of mountains and everything, but we have almost 55% of our territory is related to forest, lowlands. As you can see the map over there, 50.8 million hectares are basically forest. And every year we lose about 4% or maybe 5% of that related to fires. So we decided to find a place where every year is happening something. Next, please. That's Bolivian map. This is Santa Cruz map. As you can see, we have activities in the yellow part where 1.3 million hectares are worked by farmers, small farmers, especially people that came from different other places of the country. We have 17.3 million hectares of forest. They are already working on that. And also we have 2.8 million hectares that are lowlands that we don't have forest on that. But it's especially to understand that when you talk about forest, we have to think that Roboré is in the middle of it. Roboré is a municipal county where most populated people are working based on forest. It's situated like 410 kilometers out of the big city of Santa Cruz. The main access that we have to there is a big road that goes all the way to the border of Brazil and also railroad. Those are the two ways to get in there. The year 2022, the Department of Santa Cruz had several forest fires distributed in different areas, especially Roboré. And when you talk about Roboré, you have to think that we have almost 6,500 people that lives out of activities related to forest. And when they don't have anything else to do, we have to think about solutions. That's why we presented a project to the municipal government. We signed an agreement with them in order to do something, to fly an area to show that we can get information out of this place, get information to prevent activities, try to use that information and the data to educate the local people, and especially the immigrants, people that are going to the areas to try to do agriculture like they do in the highlands. And when they see the forest, what they do is cut and slash and burn it, and then try to produce 1 hectare of maize or corn or rice. And after 2 years, they won't be able to do anything else because the soil is not appropriate for that. So we have this challenge, and talking about challenge, we decided to participate in this contest with Wintra, where we present the project to have a solution. And out of 200 or 150 institutions that they present an idea to do something based on drones, we were lucky to have it. And based on that, we present the budget to We Robotics and Flying Labs in order to do something based on the fire. Go for the next, please. Okay. As you can see, Roboré, we're going to use it as the middle of the like the heart of Santa Cruz, where the forest needs to be up, needs to be kept, and we have so many tourism areas, production areas that are really important for that. Next, please. So this is the contest that we participated in. Wintra and Pix4D were some of the activities and the backends for this. We call it Flying Labs United for the Planet. We organize a really good activity and a strategy to have a lot of votes. We thank you, all of you, because you were part of this, and we're really happy about it. After the votes, we became the winners of this drum, and also well known all around the world that we can do something with Wintra Winds and also with Flying Labs. Next, please. After that, We start working on having relationships with different areas of the country, especially Erica start talking to some activators and people that were really involved in these kind of things. We had meetings, we have visiting areas. After my presentation, Erica will put some words together about what will happen after these agreements. We had to go through a lot of paperwork, a lot of red tape, trying to fly a drone that was the first one here in Bolivia. They didn't know how many activities we can do it with it, but based on friendship and a lot of lobby, I think we came to the next step. Please, the next. Kaya? Okay. Just to remind you that we were together. There's a nice picture there for the inspiration team. We worked toward to have something like this, a sustainable team that can work in different areas. I'm always thinking that if we don't know it, one of you can know about it. And that's the strongest part of this. If we work as a team, if we work all over the world, thinking that Bolivia Flying Labs is not alone, and we have you, all of you, like right now, we are 15 people in this webinar. That's excellent. So some of you will have more experience about fires, maybe more experience about drones, more experience about working together. So that's the first place to start something like this project. Next one, please. And now I'm gonna let Erica to explain what happened after that, based on Bolivia without fire, without forest fires, and this big caravan that was the beginning of a lot of stories. After Erica explains all of that, we will complement with other things. Please, Erica, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here, especially presenting something that has grown really close to my heart. The forest fires are a global crisis. This is something that we are all experiencing. We all share the same atmosphere, so this is something that we should all work for preventing. So we were part of a caravana that was organized by the Ministry of Environment and Water and the Authority of Fiscalization of Lands and Forests in collaboration with Grupo GAI. So we did cover 9 of the 11 stops. However, we have shared only the ones that are in the blue line, if you see in the image, because those are part of the Chiquitania region in Bolivia. The red line is part of the Chaco region, which is a different region. That is not our focus, but we did go to those places as well. The main idea of this caravana was to raise awareness. We have helped our authorities start thinking about different ways, more innovative ways on how to use sustainable technologies to prevent forest fires and to act immediately. Can we go to the next slide? So this was a very fascinating adventure that lasted a couple of days. You will have more information about this in our storytelling. We have breathtaking views with the drones. We took many pictures, many videos from all the places we went, and we share that with you in the storytelling. So please don't miss it. You're gonna learn more about how this came to life. Next slide. I will show a couple images so you can see how our experience in Roboré was, because it was, since our project was mainly focused in Roboré, because it's the area that was most affected by the forest fires. You can see us there having a very, very delicious breakfast, very happy, all of us, because we were starting something that we know that this is something that it's needed, it's much needed. And we had a lot of support, which it's also something that I want to take 1 minute to say thank you to everybody that has supported us along along the road and that continues to support us and that will support us in the future. In the picture in the right, you can see we have a Wintra representative from Latin America and a local representative of Wintra from the company Mertin. They went with us to Robore to support us, and we had the first flight of our Wintra drone over there in the event with all the local authorities present and the community. Next slide. So you can see that we formed a nice team. We had a lot of interchange with the forest fire volunteers as well. And we have a lot of dealing with technology, like, because we took a couple drones that we had to move from community to community. And it was a challenge. It was kind of a little stressing as well because it was a caravana and we were part of one of the cars that was part of the caravana, and the caravana had to arrive together and leave together. So it was like jump, like put everything and then like take everything and go back, like go to the next community. Many communities didn't have, you could tell like the difference between these communities. Some of them were very nice and fancy and had a lot of people supporting, and others were not that much. Were smaller, but in every community, when people were interested to learn about how drone technology can help in this prevention of forest fires, which is something that we need to take into account, because at the end of the day, they are the ones that are over there, and they really need to get the tools they need so they can protect also their lands. Can we go to the next slide? This is just an image on how the setup was. This was in San Rafael, if I am not mistaken. And basically the authorities had a meeting, closed doors, and then they would talk about how they plan to prevent forest fires in this coming year. And they would come out and share that with all of us and the community. So can we go to the next slide? This it's a picture from farther away. You can see how green it is, how looking good. This is San Miguel. You're gonna see many of these images and videos of the caravan and the cars going in our storytelling. So please don't miss that one. And now let's see the rise of the Firehawk. Next, it's the video. So we can play that.
Preview. Your attention, please.
In the heart of the Chiquitania region, Bolivia, lies a lush paradise teeming with biodiversity. But this ethnic beauty is under constant threat. Forest fires, a crisis that knows no borders. Their impacts are felt around the world. We all share the same atmosphere, and it is our collective responsibility to protect it. Enter the Firehawk Project, a beacon of hope and innovation. Using cutting-edge technology like the Wintra 1 Generation 2 drone we took to the sky. Our mission? To provide a bird's-eye view of the Chiquitania like never before. Our team soared above, capturing high-resolution images the real magic happens when these images are transformed into accessible data. Thanks to Pix4D Cloud, these images become 2D and 3D models. Easy to access, easy to share. This information is a game changer. With it, you can make measurements, calculate profile elevations, areas, volumes, all in the palm of your hand. Simply scan the QR code and you can access this valuable data right on your smartphone. Our pilot project covered 150 hectares, but the Chiquitania region spans an awe-inspiring 24.7 million hectares. We need the local communities to be the heart of this effort. It's their home, their land. With your help, they can protect it. It is not just about pretty pictures. It's about giving communities the power of knowledge. With information on their smartphones, they become the guardians of the land. This is a journey of collaboration, of hope, and of action. Firehawk is not just a project, it's a vision for a sustainable future. But we cannot do it alone. We need your support, your collaboration, your partnership. Together, we can pioneer a more sustainable and responsible future. Join us. Be part of the change. Together, we can ensure a brighter tomorrow for the world's largest tropical dry forest, the Chiquitania.
Great, so we can move to the next slide.
Kaya.
Let me go ahead and
Sorry about that.
Oh.
I think my Zoom crashed. Let me just reshare it and all right. Sorry about that.
don't worry. So if you want to access this information for the Pix4D 3D and 2D model, please just use this QR to scan it, and you will have it in the palm of your hands. As you saw, you can make measurements, and it's not the information that actually matters, it's how you use it. And there is a lot of information in the world about many things, but is it accessible to the people who need it? How can these be accessible to everybody? It's important that these things are shared with the community, with the people who need it. Otherwise, the information is going to be worthless if it's not used, and if it's not used for the good of everybody, right? So we can go to the next slide and go back with Renee. The call of action.
Well, to tell you the truth, these kind of activities and what we have done in the last 3-4 months is opening a big opportunity for all of us. First of all, to think that we can improve our capacities in order to give services as a flying lab in Bolivia. But at the same time, we can build up a network of institutions that can be together. Months ago, Bolivia Flying Labs wasn't invited to a lot of meetings and all of that. As a true, yesterday, Erica was present in an activity in the government, in the Central Plaza of Santa Cruz, with a lot of institutions. Every time they talk about drones, they think about Bolivia Flying Labs. And I think we're provoking activities that will have a sustainable future for all of us. I think that's the first topic. If we go to the other one, I think there's another slide. Okay, yeah, exactly. As Erica wrote this, and I love it, is that when we finish this presentation, it's not saying goodbye. It's just the first step to do something else. And we're thinking that this coming week, all the Latin American flying labs will be together in Santa Cruz, and you will have the activities. We will have the chance to interact with all of us. But at the same time, we will try to put together a message for the rest of the world, especially you that are present in this webinar, that we can do a lot of things together. And part of this big family, please take us as that, is Bolivian Flying Labs. I don't know if we have something else. I think we're open to questions and answers, and we are ready for that.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much, both Erica and Rene, for your presentation. It is absolutely fascinating to hear about your project. Once again, even though I worked with you very closely, there was still something I could learn from your slides. So thank you for that. And like Rene mentioned, we have quite a lot of time, about 15 minutes for any questions or any comments from the audience. So please feel free to unmute yourselves or to use the chat to ask your questions. People may need a few minutes to type in the chat. Oh, there is already a question from Jamal, who says, how to join the movement?
Thanks, Jamal. I think the first step to be part of this movement is to be here. We are really open to start talking about our experience, but also we want to listen about your experiences. I think the next step of this will have an opportunity to share what you are doing in Morocco about fire problems and what we can solve that or prevent. I think with drones, we cannot solve it. There are different kinds of activities that are needed for that, but we learn how to prevent based on data, based on information, months before it happened. That will help a lot. For example, a simple topic, if we have a direct contact with the communities and we give them information from the sky, knowing that there are places that are really dry and there's no community, it will help a lot to really improve the prevention process. Based on that, we can keep on talking about it, and I'm sure Flying Labs, one of the topics that are going to be in the next years is fires, forest fires. Also, I want to mention something. You have seen Erica in a lot of activities there, but also are other people that are back in this place. For example, Fernando, that is the pilot of the drone, that right now he's in Mexico, in Cancun, in a Congress for all engineers. So he won't be able to be here, but I think we have to remember that. And other persons that Romin and everybody that is also part of this team.
Thank you, Renan. Thanks, Jamal, for the question. Are there any other questions? If any of you has done similar work in your respective countries, then we would also love to hear about your project and your work.
Hello, Kaya. This is Joel from the Philippines.
Hi, Joel.
Maybe I could just share with you. It's not really a project for Flying Labs, but we did a commercial work before for the government, and our project was about monitoring the reforestation efforts by our government in the different forest areas. So probably that's another idea. Another idea for the Flying Labs to look into, monitoring the success of reforestation efforts in your respective countries. Just sharing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, Joel. It's actually
Yes. Sorry, Kaya. I think that's part of the loop. You know, prevention, then the problem, some solutions, and the big effort that we have to do all over the world is reforestation. But it's not enough. It's not enough. But I think it's part of it. Thank you very much.
We have another question in the chat from Marcelo, who is asking, in addition to locating low humidity areas, are there other ways to use the images?
Well, the thing that we saw most importantly, especially in the information that we took, is that if there is a forest fire, the first seconds are crucial. The first minutes are crucial. If you can access the zone, the first seconds or minutes, that makes a huge difference, right? So with these maps, you can start thinking about ways on how to access different locations beforehand. So if a forest fire starts somewhere, you have already mapped how to access a place. So that's why in the video it's also shown the profile elevation, because sometimes when you look at satellite maps, you don't get that. You don't get to see like how long and the depth, if a car can pass or a person, or like how it is. But with this you can. So to start having that's the idea of preventing, to start having information that can prevent at least the propagation of forest fires, if not the forest fires.
One other point, as you know, people that are smuggling timber or forest, they work at night. They open small roads into the forest, and with a fly, you can see that, and take contact with the authorities in order to see which ones are the ways to get inside the forest, and those are the more fragile. So we have to work on that. And have you seen one of the pictures where in a central plaza of Roboré is a abanic of different colors, red, yellow, and all of that, is to also say, don't fire or don't start any kind of fires, because the weather, the temperature, and everything is bad for that. And the people is learning about it, and they go every morning to know that it's not a good idea to start a fire. I think it's the 12th or the 11th slide. One more? No, more than that.
This
Maybe
one.
8. No, it's.
Oh, it was in the video.
Okay.
What's in the video? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, well, please check the video and you will understand what I'm trying to explain. Sorry.
It's also in the storytelling. Everything is explained in detail, so you're gonna have more information about what we did.
So as we scroll through the amazing story map that the team has created, do we have any other questions from the audience?
We will share the presentation, so you will have it.
absolutely. I think there are some links in the next slides, so you can access this story directly. That's the photo you were talking about, right?
Exactly. Yes. You can grade the risk right there.
Right.
Is low, high, and all of that. So that's something that even in the schools are teaching the young people to understand what's the meaning of that tool that is in the middle of the center square.
It's amazing to see how sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective. And here it's definitely a simple solution, just a wooden board with some colors painted on it and an arrow. And that can already help prevent fires.
Yes.
Actually, the last couple of days here in Santa Cruz, we had horrible air quality. We were talking with Claudina. You enter a website where it also showed how bad our quality air was because of the forest fires. We've been having problems here in Santa Cruz. This is an ongoing issue. This is not like, oh, this happened in 2019 and we've recovered. No, it's like, or we still don't recover. No, this is like an ongoing situation, not only for us, but for many places in the world as well. And even some classes in some communities, schools have had to shut down because kids couldn't go to classes because of the bad air quality. There is a lot of information in the news about that because it was really bad. And that's something to also note that this cannot stop here for sure. We need, if we get together, we're stronger. And we have a Fire Labs network, right? We have people who are experts in different fields who do different things. And if we get together, we could probably find better ways, more efficient ways to get to the local and to show the power local, which is what we as a network also want to do. Just to say that.
Thank you. I'm going to bring back the slides because I think we have all of the links here and you can access the story maps and the data sets that Renee, Erica, but also the rest of the team, Fernando and other people from Bolivia Flying Labs have collected. So I'll leave it on the screen, and I think we still have a few more minutes for any extra questions, if there are any, or comments. Maybe you would like to share something, some kind words with the team of Bolivia Flying Labs, or some encouragement. That's also very welcome.
Claudia, Diego from Brazil here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Diego.
First of all, I would like to say that the presentation was amazing. The work the Bolivia Flying Labs, Erica and Renee, is really amazing. It's also quite inspiring for us, which we just started in the network. So I think this project has a lot of potential to first of all activate other agents in Bolivia, like universities or local governments, to use the data and to analyze them, if from them to propose some actions. I think that's quite inspiring, and I'm thinking that here in Brazil we have also needs related to the forest, to the preservation of the forest, related also with relation of fires, but also with preservation. So congratulations for the work you are doing there in Bolivia, Erica and Rene.
See you soon, Diego.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
No, I just say I will see you soon.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I have a lot of questions for you guys. So yeah, next week we were there.
Great. Any other comment or question? We'll be glad to answer that.
If not, that's also fine, and we can also just go through the rest of the slides. I think we have one or two more.
That's a slide for information. If you need something, please write to bolivia@flyinglabs.org, and we will gratefully answer to you. I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.